Hello, everyone, and welcome to Round 2 Back 9 coverage of the 2020 Played Again Sports Jonesboro Open. This coverage is presented this weekend by Prodigy Disc. Big Barry commentary, Jeremy Koling, joined, as always, by Paul Ulibarri.
I'm here.
You are, and so are these scores as Paul McBeth goes 5 down on the front 9. Good front 9. He's opened up a 2-shot advantage over Calvin Heimburg, who went bogey-free. So did Reid Frescura, not quite picking up as many birdies as I'm sure he's looking for. But everyone's still in the mix. Paul trying to separate himself a little bit. He's got 6 shots over third place right now. Moving on to hole 10, par 3, 360 feet. A mostly straight shot all the way. Players are going to want to throw a backhand anhyzer that hits the hillside and gets a counter flare up to this tree on the left side. Reid will have a nice advantage with that lefty skip up the hill.
I feel like after coming off the front 9, if you have no bogeys, even if you're 1 to 2 under par, there's still a lot of holes on that back 9 to where you can definitely save a really good round. So we can expect to see these guys get a bit aggressive.
Paul's got this turned over a bit too much, but that could potentially get through to a putt.
Yeah, and you see that mistake a lot. I mean, honestly, the play I see work out the most is a straight shot that barely fades and then hits the hillside, and it might skip straight or get that anti-flare skip.
Wow, I do not know what Thomas is throwing there, but that thing is wildly understable and a big roll up to the left side, and that actually kind of opens up the approach for the easy par. Calvin going wide eagle.
Give me a skip.
But there's that counter flare that you're going to see almost every time, and that'll be about 50 to 55 feet or so, maybe a little bit closer than that, but that's going to be a scary putt from there.
Yeah, pretty scary. I think in years past, the basket on this hole has been elevated, and this year, not so much. Yeah.
And Reid just narrowly missing that log, and that's going to be a good result just inside the circle for the birdie. Thomas laying up for the par. And Calvin from, we'll call it 42 feet. Yes, that's a great putt. And that basket is really sitting on the edge of a cliff that really slopes severely away from the hole right there. And if that hits the right side rim, that's going to go to 70 feet.
I love how he puts just enough rotations on it on a perfect little ante, and it just floats and carries towards the basket. And it's like he just set it in there. That's beautiful control from Calvin.
And McBeth does get to a place where he can give it a good run, but that goes off to the right side. He's got a little bit left here for the par. Oh, and just drops right out of his hand. That's going to be a bogey for Paul, and we're going to have a tie ball game at 16 under.
Yeah, you don't see Paul 3-putt very often. That might be the first one I've seen.
And Reid continuing that hot hand. Another nice putting stroke for Reid. He is now 3 under for the round.
Yeah, he is putting great. And aggressive, too. He's not. It's not coming in soft. It's coming in hard.
What's most impressive about that putting stroke is that he is actually continuing that solid, confident stroke even after the really devastating spit out that he had on hole 4. And before we forget about it, we got to give a quick shout out to Trevin Crow for the big forehand skip ace here on round 2. That was pretty awesome. And if you're wondering if I was nearby, I was teeing off right next to hole 10 when they were about to call my name. He skipped in for the ace, and I told him, that counts as a witness, buddy. Gave him the big Jerm bump. On to hole 11, par 4. 560 feet. A big hyzer around the corner, but you don't want to go too far. You want to give yourself a nice angle on the left side to try to bring it in on the second shot with either the backhand anhyzer or the forehand. Player like Calvin can go as high as he really wants. That one's just kind of mid-height, but that was a fairway driver to kind of compensate for not going A faster disc would have put him too close to that tree line. That was a really nice shot.
Yeah, I was doing a little bit of critiquing on the front nine, but I feel like on this back nine, I'm going to let these guys play.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I think he should have done. No,
Yeah, right. Reid, come on.
Yeah,
why
Reid
are we
doesn't-
throwing a forehand here?
Unbelievable.
I think Reid's going to be in a spot where he'll have a very awkward back to the basket type of shot, but I think he's got enough room to make it work.
Now, this is okay.
Wow. What an advantage Thomas has to be able to go that high and be able to just cut the corner. If you get all the way out there to the left, you're literally looking at the basket, and it's just the easiest par 4 on the course.
Yeah, I'm just not sure if he got around there, if he's going to have a makeable shot from there. I mean, it looked like he was on the backside of those trees, which it usually means you can kind of finagle, sidearm, backhand putter or something. Like you said, he's so close that shouldn't be a problem. Inside 200 feet, these guys figure it out.
And Reid is actually in a much tougher spot than it appeared from that catch cam, and doing as much as he can to just give himself a nice circle 2 look.
That man's dangerous from circle 2. I've seen it.
Agreed. And Paul putting a little bit of that pro backspin there. That's 14 feet away for the birdie. And looks like Thomas actually did find himself in a nice little spot. Just a little lean out.
Skip up there for him. Oh yeah, perfect, Thomas. Great shot.
Calvin called it best there. That was a really well executed throw from Thomas from the knee. Most players want to bring the height in there to try to give it maybe a little bit of a run and get a little bit closer to the basket. You don't see too many low skip shots, but Thomas forced to go with that low skip shot and made a very nice effort from there.
Scare it. Oh,
He is on it, man. This guy is a putting machine.
that's a tough putt from in there, especially when you have that up and down stroke. Even though he makes it look easy, you really got to kind of buckle down, concentrate a little extra, and good little birdie pickup. I feel like hole 11's playing is one of the easier holes on the course.
Yeah, it's the fourth most difficult at a 3.74 average, so a quarter stroke below par is usually that kind of comes in at the range of feeling like you must get it.
Yeah, little Stockheiser backed up with another Stockheiser, and you're looking pretty good.
It's usually pretty. The statistics are such a great addition to the Pro Tour and the National Tour and the majors, just to be able to really understand how a birdie feels for the pro player. If it's something that's a par 4 and a 4.4 average and somebody picks a 3 on it, you're almost getting a stroke and a half on the entire field on average, and that feels great. So something to kind of look out for as you're watching these scores come in from home. Hole 12 is a par 4, 655 feet. These guys are going to try to clear this ditch in the air, leaving themselves somewhere out in the field on the left. That is ridiculously good.
And the thing about that is, it's just that's his shot. Not
Yeah, he's not pressing
no.
there.
That's just like, okay, I'm gonna throw it over, and then I'll try another one on the next shot.
And Thomas, that's a similar story for Mr. Gilbert. Just a big, safe shot out to the field.
And for most of
Yep.
the field, the thought process coming into here is, okay, I need to make sure that I turn it over, but I don't turn it over too much, because then it'll dive into that kind of OB patch to the right.
These
And
guys can grab a stable disc and just rip
right.
it. And Paul, right there in that same category.
Wondering if Reid goes way wide around that tree. I'm guessing.
Looks like he's lining that up, but no, I think he's trying to just cut over the top and just bring it inside that.
It's got to go, right?
Yeah, I don't think that crossed. Yeah, that's going to be out of bounds. It's kind of it's strange that such a wide open tee shot could be a bad hole feel like a bad hole for a lefty, but for him to play really safe, he's really got to take it so far away from the pin off the tee.
This hyzer flips up nice. Get a little skip.
That's a great approach from all the way on the other side of the ditch. You're not going to see much better from back there.
No, and throwing a faster disc, which it didn't look like he was throwing a mid-range, to land it with that angle is super important so it doesn't skip all the way down the hill. And
one of the cruel things that the designer, Brad, did here was to not put a flag stick on top of this basket. You're going to see somebody on the group on every single round go up there and check out where the basket is just to remind themselves how far it is past the crest of the hill.
I love Calvin's little shuffle step he does before he throws his rhino.
It's just such good touch. And Paul and Calvin under the basket for the birdie.
This would be a great par.
First real missed putting stroke from Reid all round. That'll be his first bogey as well. Oh, that's the advantage of going downhill.
that was going downhill fast.
Yes, it was. Not many times you hit a 2 and a 3 at the same time.
And a 1.
Oh, yeah, baby. Just an ecstatic birdie for Calvin. Looks like he's going, like he's late to third period. Just one strapping it down the hill.
Books hanging out.
Yeah, dude. I mean, that's probably what he was like throughout college. He's a chemical engineer major, I believe. Dude's smart. Smarter than you and I. Or,
combined.
Or me and you.
Us.
Me, Jeremy, you, Paul. Hole 13, par 3. 353 feet up the hill and around the corner to the left. This hole has been softened a bit over the years. There were low ceiling branches that really made this shot super difficult. Made it a little bit easier to access now.
This has got to be great, right?
You tell me.
A little zippy, a little backspin. Hopefully that sits.
Haven't seen too many outdrive this hole. That's Calvin type things right there. Thomas going super tight, but getting past that, and that's going to be under the basket. Don't roll too much. Oh, that's perfect. And look how tight Thomas keeps this to be able to park it. That is just such a trusting shot.
And it's great to see that angle from the tee pad because it looks like he's hugging it a bit too tight and he doesn't get enough power on it. Yep. But the kid puts so much spin on the disc that it just carries, and
that's the more traditional result.
Right.
That looked like a great shot. It comes up just inside the circle.
It was great, yeah.
A great shot, but to see what it looks like to actually park the hole, that was pretty awesome.
I mean, this one isn't getting birdied all that often.
Whoa!
Oh, man.
Reid Frescura going back door. That would have been an outstanding highlight.
Go!
And we've seen 3 of those from McBeth. On top of the 3-putt on hole 10.
Above the cage.
So Calvin,
truer words have never been said.
Calvin here with an opportunity to take a one-shot advantage.
And he takes Paul's advice. Right
Keep it above the cage.
Right above there, and that counts. Counts as 2 of them.
So Paul really, not that he's, I don't know. I struggle to say it's a bad putting round because he's made some nice putts, but definitely uncharacteristic. So That'll be a tap-in par for Paul and a tap-in par for Reid. Hole 14, par 3, 520 feet. I think it's the most fun tee shot on the entire course. It's a beautiful downhill shot. About 3 to 4 degrees in elevation drop. Just want to keep it straight as an arrow and try to just drill a shot right into that log and give yourself a nice short birdie putt.
I would try to drill it right in the bucky.
I encourage you to do that.
I encourage Calvin to do it.
Oh no. So B.
And Calvin's not wrong.
God.
Overturns that drive, and that is the big mistake to make. That's going to be out of bounds short of the ditch. 4 best case scenario right now for Calvin, and that opens up the door for Paul to retake this lead. This is more what you want to see. Thomas playing that late drift. And
sometimes you can hit it high like that and filter through, so that's actually the better mistake to make on this hole. A lot of people like to play the really safe shot to go left.
Where are you going?
Paul a bit surprised by this, turning over more than he'd like. I think he's going to be fine and safe.
Tailwind, why is it going that way?
I made the same mistake in round 1, buddy. It's so deceiving. It's such an open field here. You're at the top of this hill, and you're going down this big valley, and so many different winds are kind of swirling around.
Let's see if Reid can roll a 7 here.
Oh, I don't think so. That might be a snake eyes. I don't know. It might be a 9 also. Or a 3.
There's a good little approach from Calvin.
I like how sometimes you just look at me and you're like, what are you even talking about, dude?
I know what you're talking about. We don't know what he did yet.
We'll find out very soon, won't we?
Some good focus here. What a great angle.
Oh, Thomas with a great looking gap and very low ceiling, trying to give it a little bit of spin and a little bit of nose up angle, and just not quite high enough to stay in the basket.
And that looks like a 7 if I've ever seen. Yeah, well.
No. But it will be a 3, and again, this hole does not play well for a lefty. You don't have the ability like a righty has to drift off from the left side over to the right and swing back into the left, because the right side is all OB. Only 7 birdies on the day, and just like hole 5 that only had 7 birdies, Paul Ulibarri, you're one of them. Getting them good birdies. Yeah?
Look at us. Who would have thought?
Not me.
Not me.
Hole 15, par 3, 270 feet. Now known as the Simon Girthy hole. It's right there. Just ace it. I don't know what to say.
Yeah, it's big.
Basket's huge on this hole. I don't know what to
catches
say.
well.
Rip it in there. This is a bit inside Thomas. This needs to get down. Never mind. Okay, I think that was actually a
Perfect.
very overstable putter.
Yes,
Mid-range
putter. That looked puttery. This needs to get on that slope and skip up.
Yep, does it?
Well, that's not what we're looking to see here. Come on, highlights.
Yeah, well, this is the easiest hole in the course, and for good reason. Pretty much wide open, 270 feet. Even lefties like to throw their little flicks into this one. This is going to need a good skip, otherwise Reid's going to have to make a long putt, and it looks like that's going to be the case here. This is a bit tight.
You keep saying that.
Why am I so bad at what I do? I just felt like that was just going to drift so far left.
I think Reid's going to make it.
See if he can make the correction from a couple holes again. Man, this guy is just... He does not let one bad putt affect his confidence. That is not a putt most people are going to run at with that much pace.
And the thing is, if he does miss, let's say by rare case he airballs it, that thing is
40.
flying and it is not going to sit soft.
That's a great putt. And just an outrageous onslaught of birdies on hole 15 in round 2. 69% of the field, 64 players out of the 93 playing today were able to pick up the birdie. Only 2 bogeys on the day, and surely those are from people maybe out there in Reid's territory that weren't able to make that putt and went all the way down the hill. Star frame again, $25 to Edge Foundation. If you don't know about them, check them out. Hole 16, par 5, 855 feet. One of the signature holes on the Disc Golf Pro Tour. It's a very challenging shot that requires a lot of different decision making that happens at every stage of the hole. If you go big drive, you're going to require a little bit of luck to get into a spot that you can see the pin to go across into. If not, you're going to want to throw kind of a mid-range driver at the 430-foot range. But it looks like Thomas is trying to go way left.
I'm wondering what's over there. A little kind of like a little bushy area.
Yeah, but I think it might actually open up the hyzer play for Thomas from out there.
Okay,
Perhaps.
that makes sense, yeah.
Oh, no.
And for the second
That
time in 2
is-
holes, Paul's drive has turned over way more than
There's
he
no
was
wind out
expecting.
there. Where's that rolling over?
Well, on the last hole he parked it on a hyzer. And it never turned
Oh,
over.
okay. I'm still thinking about 14.
This is understable.
Whoa. What
In case you guys didn't know
incredible
that.
trust from Reid. And I don't know if that's going to be the greatest place to be, but that should be not that difficult to just pitch down the hill and be in position to get across for the birdie look still.
Also turning over. Now, there is a little breeze coming up this hill. And when you're throwing a shot downhill,
Golly, dude. That's so bad.
and there is a little breeze,
so
the
bad.
disc
Are
will
you with
gain
me?
speed and then
Yeah.
push. And once it gets over that wind and then the elevation, it'll make your
So
stuff, your disc,
poor.
a lot more understable.
Paul from out of position actually made it quite far down the hill and a really nice shot there. I think that got around all the obstacles that are at the top of the hill. That should be a pretty straight shot from about 260.
Yeah, the good old out of position to in position play. That's pretty good.
What was that, you goofball?
It's just calling it how I see it.
Well, Paul McBeth kind of looks Spanish. Was that the Spanish in position?
I think Paul is Spanish.
That's a history joke that you just did not get. That's all right. That's all right. And Calvin, and I think you can understand why he was groaning after his tee shot. He knows exactly how difficult that is off to the right side. Oh, just needing to clear that top of that last one, and that would have been home free. Reid's going to have to make a long putt to secure the birdie. Wow, just staying in bounds. That could have been a disaster. Calvin would have had to go up to the drop zone had that not landed in bounds.
That's really good. If you like disc golf.
I do.
Go in.
That next shot's going to go in, and Paul is going to most likely get a shot on Calvin unless he's able to make a really nice putt from the bottom of the hill, but I think he's going to have an obstructed lie. I don't know if he's going to have a chance of making this, but actually maybe. Yeah, pretty difficult from down there. So that'll bring Paul to 20 under par and regaining that lead in the event. There were 5 eagles on the day, none in round 1, which really surprised us. One of the most eagleable holes you're going to come across with a great drive. And Chris Dickerson, Austin Hannum, Zach Melton, Kevin Jones, and Anthony Barella. Zach Melton's birdie was so impressive. Goes a big roller off the tee and just throws an absolute line drive, low ceiling laser across the water. It was a thing of beauty to watch. On to hole 17, par 4, 660 feet. OB on the left side that really narrows in as you move down the fairway till you get to the pinch landing zone. From there, it's a dogleg right going down the hill. Once you get down the hill, it kind of goes back up a knoll. Basket sitting on top of a little bit of a hillside, making the putting green a little bit tricky. And Thomas going with a backhand turnover. I don't think this is going to hyzer back in time.
But it did make it a long ways.
Sure did.
I think you got a clap for that.
Mm-hmm. And this is more what you're looking for, I believe. McBeth
Needs the hyzer as well.
Oh, yeah, you definitely push it right side. And that is not going to be the best angle. You really need to be about 50 feet left of that to be in the spot that you really like to be in.
And now we have ourselves a lefty hole.
Yeah, the one issue I feel like a lefty has to runs into is that hillside slopes so much down to the right that it's so hard to kind of put the brakes on the disc being in that perfect landing zone.
But I also feel like you don't ever have to worry about the out of bounds, which is something that I think the right-handed player has.
Speaking of out of bounds.
Yeah, see?
Calvin Heimburg finds it here.
Calvin, you didn't have to do that to help me explain that. Wow, what a guy.
Taking one for the team.
This looks great.
That right there, folks, was the highest jump I think you could ever see on a green. But to even get there, that was an A-plus effort from an A-plus player.
From an A-plus commentator.
Paul Ulibarri. And Reid with a nice touch. Coming up 23 feet short.
Now sit. Don't be mean. That was friendly.
Mm-hmm. Getting Thomas out of jail. Short approach for the par coming up. Calvin needing this to sit down friendly, and it does. That's a good effort with the Rhino.
Looks a bit breezy on the green. Mm-hmm. See how that affects the players once we get there.
Thomas getting highly aggressive from, well, maybe not. I thought that looked like he was actually trying to run that, but that's just a layup.
Wouldn't this be something? Wouldn't this be something?
Yeah, it is. Wow. Awkward stance and just such a snap with that body there to get the momentum started, and his arm just really had to put more energy into that than his traditional putt.
You could have moved the basket back another 10 feet and it would have been the same result.
Yeah, that was a laser beam. Calvin needing this for par. That's a good par save. Wow. Calvin's first par since hole 9.
Get in there.
Just hanging on the left side chains.
That's a birdie. There you go.
And 2 birdies from, I don't want to say, those were a little bit out of position and very, very solid approaches. Thomas takes his par, and we get to move on to the hardest hole in the course. And guess what? We get a hole breakdown from you.
Hole 18 is the signature hole here at this side of heaven. This very demanding tee shot is crucial in having any chance at birdie 3. Catch an early tree, and this tough par 4 will have you scrambling to finish your round. You may be teeing off a bit earlier than you had hoped. Let's see how it plays out.
This is just a bully of a finishing hole.
Yeah, it's like, what did I ever do to you?
Not birdie you.
Yeah, I never.
Never birdied you, so what's the problem?
I gave you a couple strokes last year.
Jeez. Leave me alone, dude.
Paul's a bully.
Yeah, but hole 18's a bigger bully and kind of knocks that down from being in perfect position to really good position.
Yeah.
It's going to take a long shot from there, but Paul's definitely capable of doing it.
If he keeps playing the way he's been playing for the last 28 years, he's got a pretty good shot at becoming a really, really good player.
Yeah, I agree with that. Reid just going straight as an arrow all the way down. That was a thing of beauty. Thomas looks like he's lining up a roller.
He's never seen a hyzer he didn't like.
Yeah, that is true. A hyzer play is a bit deceiving, and even had Thomas not hit the top of those limbs, I don't think that was going where, well, he's right in the middle, but that's way short of being in position for the birdie. The hyzer play, you really have to push it about 40 feet wider than it really seems like you want to.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with that. And Calvin loves to throw really good shots.
God.
Yeah, like this one, for example. But
I mean,
that's going to be pinched off. That's tough. I mean, he's so close, he might be able to be like, oh, I'm aggressive and I'm pretty good. But,
oh, I'm so good, whatever, guy.
But probably not. And I'm going to guess that he might have to pit. He's never seen a hyzer he didn't like. And and we've never seen a hyzer that he's seen.
Yeah, exactly. That's a bold play from Gilbert. I didn't even know that even existed as an approach shot. Reid, yeah, that's kind of a pretty safe par play.
I feel like that's all he's got, though, from there. You know, he played a perfect shot to have the shot that he needed to get to the green.
It is I don't know really how a birdie can lefty this hole.
That's been a question I've had myself.
Okay, so Paul just is really good at disc golf, and he's going to continue doing that thing he's done for the last 28 years again on this one. And Calvin just so far, he doesn't even have to worry about the low ceiling of the limb because he's already passed it. Folks, this is a 4.59 average.
And he just threw a putter up shot.
There were two birdies in round 1. Oh, and we almost... That was Thomas's birdie run?
What?
Just hyzer. My goodness. Okay. And he doesn't have to pay the price for the skip off the top. Able to collect the par. Walk off the course with a very respectable back 9, a 5 down, a solid 6 down round total.
Reid somehow found a hat on the last tee. And
where did that come from, buddy?
Maybe the last shot. I don't know, but he taps in for a par and
2 total birdies on hole 18 in round 1, and we got 2 just tap-ins to go with the 4 other players on the course: Andrew Presnell, Luke Humphreys, Gerson Van Gunst, and Trevor Crowe, our ace man on hole 10. Paul McBeth with a fire finish there. He has now opened up a 3-shot advantage over Heimburg. Thomas Gilbert, 15 under. And there is our front 9. Andrew Presnell with a 9 under round jumping up. Paul Ulibarri, fire emoji, 12 under.
Ulibarri.
Paul McUlibarri. Up 14 spots from 5th card to 4th place. You are going to be rounding out our final round coverage here at the Jonesboro Open. Great back 9.
Yeah, you know, I think that's what we called kind of coming into this back 9, is it was going to take somebody really closing out, and we saw Thomas do that, we saw Paul do that, and Calvin's right there, just like he's been all year. I can't wait for the final round.
Moving day did not disappoint here in Jonesboro, Arkansas. Thank you to the Founders Club. Thank you to Prodigy Disc for providing the coverage this week, and thank you for watching. Be sure to tune in for the final round of the Play It Again Sports Jonesboro Open tomorrow.
You know what, Jerm?
What?
Happy birthday, brother.
Hey, man, it's the last time to hear that. I appreciate you.